some gear here. So got the Burger King over here. We got the Hunter from Destiny chilling over here. Destiny Hunter. This is a Titan from Destiny and a Warlock. Cool. It's all Destiny. What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. In this video, we're taking a look at the June Alpha Update, Part 1 for New World. Hopefully, we don't have any leaks coming out that they had something totally different in the patch notes that they had in the Alpha forums. And this will just be a nice, smooth video talking about some good things coming into the game. So let's check it out. It says, greetings, adventurers. Today's Alpha's release is focused on polishing up the gameplay experience and systems, including a heaping pile of bug fixes that span across all aspects of the game, all in preparation for closed beta in July and our August 31st launch. So far, they fixed 1,209 bugs, increased company member limit from 50 to 100, updated new player quests related to choosing a faction and gathering and refining for the constable, added a new series of lore notes in each starting zone with additional revelations about that zone's constable. Progression updates. In May, we rebalanced progression and leveling to introduce a number of new ways for players to advance, such as earning trade skill levels or territory standing levels and discovering points of interest or lore pages. That rebalance resulted in players leveling faster than the content, so we've made a few changes to XP gain and leveling. This gives me a little bit of pause with all the boosts they were talking about before and everybody's in the uproar. So let's go in here positive. They've increased the amount of XP from discovering lore pages. Okay. We love this new activity and how it rewards exploration and want to ensure it's more impactful on progression. Base XP has been increased from 25 to 40, and XP is increased by 10, up from 5, for every 10 notes discovered. Oh, nice. Get a little bonus for discovering more notes. The lore notes I enjoyed looking for and finding in the preview event, and I can't wait for the game to come out so I can actually go into more detail and make more videos about the lore of the game because they're really interesting. Doubled the XP awarded for discovering POIs, like lore note discovery. This is a great new source of XP, and we want to pump up the amount it contributes. So when you the POIs are just like locations on the map that you don't know what's there. And if you go and discover them, it just opens up that location on the map, and I guess you get XP for it. Kind of like discovering a new zone in Warcraft and stuff like that. Increased XP required to level by 40% for all levels after 7. Oh, that's a lot of leveling. Players in the alpha are leveling faster than we expected, faster than the content, and as a result, they're missing some cool quests and POIs. The goal of this change is to better align progression with the content in the game. Reduce the XP gained from corrupted breaches by 10 to 20% based on level of the breach. We also decreased the breach spawn speed from 15 minutes to 30 minutes for minor breaches, and from 30 minutes to 60 minutes for major breaches. We love corrupted breaches and how they bring players together, but want the feeling to be more about cleansing the area of corruption and then waiting for it to rebuild, not be a constant grind. Reduce the XP from faction missions to compensate for the change in mission structure. In this update, we've changed faction missions back to the single mission structure. Since they are considerably faster now, we've adjusted the rewards accordingly. They've reduced the XP from PvP missions by about 20%. The proximity of the missions, locations, and speed at which players could complete missions led to a quicker rate of XP gain than intended. Arenas will now require one party member to have a tuning orb for entry, that they had keys you had to find in the world. Increase the rewards for completing an arena. Like expedition orbs, tuning orbs will be given during an initial quest and can then be crafted from materials found around a terminal. I wonder if they just call them like orbs now. Is that the terminology they're using instead of the keys? Added the crafting missions we removed from faction missions to town projects. Thematically, this felt like a better place for this type of activity. Yeah, it makes more sense. Why would factions need you to craft for the town? Along with the move to town projects, cooking and armament crafting missions have been overhauled and changed to be more accessible. Requirements here have been made easier for cooking missions with a maximum of 4 ingredients for any mission and less of each ingredient type. Tuned armor and armament missions to require less of each material. Rather than requiring materials from tier 2 to tier 5, these missions now require materials from tier 1 to tier 4. They've raised the cap on the number of active buy and sell contracts to 100 per character. Nice. We reordered and tuned the list of territory standing bonuses offered at each level. The new order has bonuses more relevant to the early game, rolling out the earlier territory standing levels, such as town storage, town territory standing bonuses, and XP bonuses. Generally, but not always, standing bonuses should offer a choice between similar things. For instance, one set of bonuses will pick between taxes and fees, while the other will pick between advancement bonuses such as territory standing bonuses or faction token bonuses. They've increased the amount of furnishing points granted by the furnishing standing bonus from 1 to 5. This required a reduction to the overall number of times this bonus is offered. We wanted to stay close to our previous hard cap at max standing, but we also wanted to grant more than 1 point at a time. So this went to the maximum. Loot and gear. Gray rarity items no longer bind on equip. This will eliminate the confirmation pop-ups when equipping gray rarity gear, which should reduce pop-ups and complexity during the first few levels for new players. Gray is always synonymous with trash for me, so it's kind of weird that was bind on equip. Gear rewards. We are continuing to add more gear to the game and improve the visual appearance of all gear in the game. Added 50 new armor sets that can be obtained through a variety of in-game activities. Updated visuals, stats, and perks for many of the unique weapons and armor sets that can be found as rewards in the following locations in game modes: Invasions, Wars, Corrupted Breaches, Outpost Rush, Lazarus Well, Garden of Genesis, The Depths, Shattered Obelisk, Arenas, and many in-game elite points of interest. Some gear here. So we got the Burger King over here. We got the Hunter from Destiny chilling over here. Destiny Hunter. This is a Titan from Destiny and a Warlock. Cool. It's all Destiny. The possible perks from each source have been narrowed to give each piece more focus on the benefits they provide. This is intended to reduce the chance of getting a less than ideal combination of perks, depending on what kind of character build you are looking to make. Added 27 new trinkets, rewards for War, Breach, Invasion, and Outpost Rush. Updated the color scheme on the slew of weapons throughout the game. Updated all uniquely colored weapons drops by lost enemies. Updated the base set color on spears, rapiers, and great axes dropped by angry earth enemies to correctly match the other angry earth weapons. See, this is cool. I like the idea that the color schemes of the who drops the weapons, you'll be able to see somebody running around with something, you'd be like, oh, that was an angry earth person. Something like that. That's kind of cool. Updated the base set color on spears and rapiers dropped by ancient enemies to better match the other ancient weapons. Updated the color scheme on the base set of ice gauntlets dropped by all families of enemies to match the color seen on each of their unique weapon sets. Added 2 unique trade skill apparel sets that can be discovered throughout Aeternum. These apparel sets will not provide much benefit in combat, but each set is stacked with perks, one set to improve crafting and the other to improve gathering abilities. Okay, trade skill apparel sets, nice. And these are just like your regular clothes. So I guess if you just wanted like RP as a gatherer, you can do that with a weapon, but they won't be like extra strong. Like, so don't expect to go doing dungeons in them unless you want to, just have fun and do a dungeon in your farmer gear or something. Added named weapon drops to the global list of drops that can occur anywhere in the game. These weapons have a low chance to drop, but should add excitement to global drops. The weapons on the list are all bind on equipped, so they can be traded between players until they are equipped for the first time. Crafting. Jewel crafting. Trinkets are now created with embedded gems that cannot be changed, and jewel crafting added crafting recipes for carnelian and amber trinkets. We got some changes to the UX, the UI. I would like to be a UX UI developer. The main menu and initial character creation flow have received an update. In addition to streamlining the flow and adding key functionality, we wanted to draw players into the world of Aeternum immediately after booting up the game. Our new main menu displays a new dynamic tile grid, which will surface content updates or important information about the living world of Aeternum. It's a living world, Guild Wars. In future versions, we hope to be able to deliver streaming video via these tiles, but for now, they will open a web browser for more information. Streaming. Follow us on Twitter, Alpha Forums, Dev Updates. That would be kind of interesting. Some streaming tiles, streaming videos. Maybe like a new armor set, I guess. Probably to showcase some of the store armors. Maybe a random new world creator that have their stream playing if they're streaming. That would be kind of cool. I like it. Looks good. On the new character select screen, you'll see your available character slots and receive important server messages before advancing into the game. The world list has been replaced with your character slots, which you have 2 of per region. You now only need to choose a world when initially creating your character. So you can only get 2 character slots? Is that something you're going to put in the story? You can buy more character slots? That's kind of weird. I mean, I guess you don't really need a bunch of character slots, but I guess your main and then the bank alt is what they would have those be. It's kind of weird. Not used to seeing just 2 character slots. As a new player, you'll get streamlined character creation flow with a choose a world step that shows a recommended world choice based on current queue times and if any Steam friends are online and playing on that server. That's cool. You can optionally expand the world list and choose any world as you can now. So that's pretty cool. You don't have to worry about what server your friends are on. If they're playing the game right now and you're like, oh, I'm getting ready to jump in and start a new character, you don't got to be like, what server are you on? They'll show you. I like that. Gameplay UI polish. Combat UI has been adjusted to provide more information and moment-to-moment gameplay. It should now be easier to tell what types of attacks are being used, how effective the attacks are, and when status effects are being applied. Added icons to floating damage numbers showing the damage types of all attacks. Added indicator and colors to show if an attack has improved or reduced effectiveness against its target due to the attack's type. Status effects now generate a floating text and icon to clearly indicate the status effect name when applied to either mobs or players. Status effect icons are more clear and prominently placed above the enemy's name rather than on the right side. And then we got a little photo here. It actually says bleed instead of having you wonder if that's a bleed, and it's also on top of the character's health bar. That's kind of cool. The numbers are still here on the side. I still don't know what kind of attack this orange is. I guess that's a crit maybe. But the status effects, they let us know that, I guess. So that's good. The compass has had some polish too, including when in a point of interest, the compass will display the point of interest name permanently until you exit the POI boundary. Both entrance and exit into a POI now have an SFX queue to aid in recognizing when you can set camp. Nice. Distances are now only shown for the compass icon closest to the center of the compass where the camera is aiming. This improves legibility of distances significantly by removing overlapping text and allows us to show distances for more icon types. That's good. I like the location of that too, and the fact that the only one that you're looking at is showing you the distance too. Character appearance options. A plethora of new character appearance options are now available when creating your character, including new faces, hairstyles, facial hairstyles, eye color, skin features, scars, and tattoos. Here are just a few examples. So we got these weird face markings, nice little beard here, ridiculous haircut, gonna get clowned for that. This guy is a little ginger dude with a not ginger beard, got some freckles going on, cool beans, looking like a Disney villain, nice. Though this guy really looks like a Disney villain with this dove tattoo on his face. All right, looks like a little one of those greedy merchant man. Yeah, cool. Oh, some interesting color combinations here. The hairline is kind of weird around the ears and a little up here in the front. Not sure what's really going on because I can't see the top. But white eyes, that's kind of cool. Scars on the face. Cool. And then again, curly fro. The eye things, the face paint makeup and the scars, they're kind of odd to me, but some people might like them. But it's all kind of cool. And that's cool features. They're not really the best at hair, but at least they've got different types of textures and stuff. Oh, this guy looks old and grizzly. Who's that guy? Looks like my man from, what's his name? Ben Kingsley. From Iron Man 3. The Mandarin. This is kind of sad. Kind of crying. A little rock star vibe going on. Little Lemmy. And that's all of them. That's pretty cool. Other UX polish tooltips no longer cover up the item you're pointing at. Instead, they clamp to the side of the focus item. In addition, the actions panel has been scaled down and condensed so that tooltips take up less overall room on the inventory screen. Streamlining of the die screen and color picker, including the ability to preview colors on the character model by hovering and not clicking on them. Added unique icons for group members instead of identical diamonds with different colors for colorblind accessibility, which is cool. When accessing a storage shed, you will no longer receive the storage shed informational notification in the upper right corner except on the very first time. Players who are crouched or prone no longer generate a typing bubble when communicating in global chat, allowing players to remain stealthy when engaging in open world PvP. which is cool because I know a lot of people are very interested in the stealth aspect of the PvP side. Default control scheme update. We have updated our default control scheme to resolve some combat, PvP, and quality of life issues. Dodge is now bound to shift by default. Jump is now bound to space by default. Wasn't it always space? Removed sprint as an input. It will now occur automatically. Sprinting will now occur automatically. It will not require you to press or hold down shift to engage. We're trying this quality of life change to remove the need of holding down an input for a large amount of the gameplay experience and tiring out your pinky finger. Pretty much they're saying, no mount anytime soon. You're going to be running everywhere. And instead of just holding down shift, we're just going to let you run. I would think it's more of like an accessibility feature also for those who can't really just hold down shift like that. It'll be easier. Combat actions will cause a brief time delay before sprinting turns on automatically. We've added in these delays to help reduce the runaway game that has been occurring in PvP and to help melee characters close in against ranged opponents by not allowing the opponent to disengage as easily. This will also slightly reduce the ability of players to run in circles while kiting enemies in expeditions. The delays are as followed. Oh, snap. You cannot sprint for 1.5 seconds after the beginning of an outgoing attack. You cannot sprint for 2 seconds after you are hit by an incoming melee attack. Oh, kiting is such a big thing in dungeons for a lot of MMOs, so I wonder how this is going to affect kiting in the expeditions. We saw that accidentally performing special navigation, such as hurdling and ledge grabs, was occurring during combat. To perform special navigation, now you need to press the jump input, which is by default set to space. You will no longer automatically perform special navigation while navigating unless you enter auto run mode. Navigation. We have also made updates to player navigation that pair with the default control scheme update. These updates have been made to reduce the sprint jump from being used in combat to gain an advantage, which was never intended. We also needed to allow stamina regeneration during navigation since sprint is now automatic. Removed the roll on sprint jump unless a player is landing from an elevated height. Sprint jump no longer exceeds sprint speed. Stamina will regenerate while navigating. Remove the stamina cost from jump. Nice. Block break blocking and stamina. Block break has been updated to be a more disadvantaged state, as our current block break could be used in advantage during boss fights and trivialize certain encounters. We've made updates to our blocking state and stamina regeneration rules to offer a more active version of tanking and to give options to the blocking player. After block break, you will not be able to dodge or block for 3 seconds. Stamina will now reset to full after 3 seconds instead of 1.5 seconds. Players cannot block at 0 stamina. Stamina will not regenerate while blocking. After a player releases block, there is a 1 second delay before stamina starts to regenerate. Stamina will regenerate while attacking. Default stamina regeneration rate has been reduced from 33 stamina per second to 20 stamina per second. That's going to be so tough on tanks. I hope they introduce like a counter option because, man, that pause is so deadly. No blocking for 3 seconds. Oof. Death's Door. All damage, debuffing, and buffing status effects are removed when entering Death's Door. Timers, food buffs, and other tracking effects are not removed on Death's Door. Sheathed and prone attack updates. If you don't know what Death's Door is, it's like when you're in a down state, people can revive you. Sheathed and prone attack updates. You can now trigger abilities and attacks directly from the sheathed state. Pressing an ability button while sheathed will allow you to go straight into the attack. Nice. Basic attacks and abilities can also be performed directly from the prone position. On the balance side, they've lowered the base damage of staffs by 12% and increased ability damage by 12%. Lowered the base damage of Ice Gauntlet by 13% and increased the ability damage by 13%. They've increased the heavy attack damage for staffs and the Ice Gauntlet from 130% base weapon damage to 140% base weapon damage. For the Fire Staff, Fireball can now be blocked with a shield, which is cool for like lore reasons and appearance. Fireball has been updated to a 3-meter AoE attack at 125% weapon damage that causes Scorched Earth. Oh. Reheat Pyro Ultimate. Reduce Reheat Pyro Ultimate from 500% mana regeneration rate after not using an ability for 5 seconds to 400 after 6 seconds. Incinerate, they removed stagger, increased knockback to compensate for stagger removal. Updated functionality so damage over time effects will not heal the player while the cauterized wounds modifier is active. Reduced healing to 20% of damage done, as the AoE attack was healing for too much against multiple targets. So it's like, so it could heal similar to like on Outriders. Prophet of a Fire God, reduced critical damage bonuses from 35% to 20%. For the musket weapon, the Trapper Ultimate, redesigned compounded adrenaline to now be lethal combo. Grants a 40% base damage increase to musket attacks on targets that have any of the status effects applied by the Trapper Tree active abilities. And then for tactical reload, they extended the cooldown for using tactical reload from 2 seconds to 3 seconds. For Ice Gauntlet, they replaced Stabbing Winds perk with Unending Thaw, makes her frost effects remain on enemies for 2 seconds after exiting Ice Storm. For the Life Staff, the Mending Touch passive and Purify modifier for Splash of Light now only remove a single debuff from targets affected instead of all debuffs. For the Warhammer, they've adjusted homing for the heavy attack so it will direct the player slightly towards the target. So it's like an auto attack. Auto target attack now. Great Axe adjusted homing for the heavy attack so it will direct the player slightly towards the target. Perks. Cruel perk update to only affect crowd control status effects, roots, slows, and stuns instead of all debuffs. Increase effectiveness by 2% from 4, 6, 8, and 10% to 6, 8, 10, 12% respectively. And that's all of the notes for this one right here. I'm assuming probably maybe next week or so, 2 weeks from now, we might see patch 2, since the beta is going to be in July and the alpha ends in July. I think we'll see another alpha patch come in 2 weeks, but that's all they have for this. It's not too bad. The experience gain increase is kind of interesting. So I kind of wonder how long it's going to take to level from those leveling after 7. Will it be a big noticeable difference, or will it just be like normal playing the game, like just do your quests or whatever in the game? So it's going to be interesting to see how that turns out, because that's a huge increase required. 40% is a lot. So hopefully that works out. They did some changes to the getting experience from the rifts. So they really want to keep people playing the game a little bit longer and not getting to end game too fast. I hope that does not coincide with, any rested experience bonuses and stuff like that. But that's all I have for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think about the changes that they have right here on these alpha updates. If there's anything that you wish they changed or kept the same, or you think is good or bad, make sure to let me know in the comments. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the like button if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in the next video.